Expected coming back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the March 19th edition of the Lexington City Council meeting. Thank you all for being here. I am not going to read the guidelines for addressing Lexington City Council this evening. You've heard them before, those of you who are here. And we will progress accordingly. If you all will please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America. Stand, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is consideration of the agenda. I'm not aware of any modifications or changes. Unless there's an objection, we will approve the agenda as presented. It is approved. Before we go into presentations, after the public hearing 6.1, I'm going to duck out and turn things over to Vice Mayor Alexander, so it will be run smoothly. Have a family opportunity and cutting out. So carry on and take care of business in my absence. But with that, I would like to invite the Courthouse Square update, Rebecca Logan, and Jesse Lyons clearly is not with us. Jeff Hughes, thanks for being here. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Now, that's the last one. Because hang tight. We'll be with you in a moment. Here we go. And then to advance. Oh, it's got it. Okay.
What it used to look like.
Okay. Sorry for the delay. Good evening, everyone. Mayor Friedman, Vice Mayor Alexander, council members, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to give you an update on the Courthouse Square project. Jesse Lyons, you've heard, was called out of town. So my cohort, Jeff Hughes, is standing in for Jesse. Jesse is here in spirit, believe me. So, okay, I'm going to walk you. I don't want to take up a ton of time, but I do want to walk you through this project, which has been long in the running. In 2023.
You mean run that?
Yeah, it doesn't like me. Oh. Well, while we're figuring this out, in 2023, the Design Committee of Main Street Lexington chose to take on the Courthouse Square as our next project. For context, this was referenced in the Downtown Enhancement Plan formulated in 2010, and Main Street Lexington has been the driving force implementing some of these suggestions. Project background, just to give you an update on the goals as a refresher, this was a project that would maximize positive community and personal usage, improve overall appearance, accessibility, and landscape design, ensure effective maintenance, use interpretive signage to reveal the historical significance of the space, and enhance engagement with and preservation of the Veterans Memorial. We established an executive committee of Jesse Lyons, myself, Steve McAllister of W&L, Arthur Bartenstein of ABL Landscape Architecture, and my cohort here, Jeff Hughes, who was past president, and at the time we took this over, the design chair of the design committee. We also established an advisory committee with all of these individuals. I don't know if you would like me to read them all.
It's all right.
Okay, but they were identified and many key partners. After months of refinement, the design with input from many stakeholders, the final design was presented to each of you and approved in the fall of 2024. The committee then applied for a Virginia 2050 grant in October. Unfortunately, we did not get any of the funding, but we were not deterred. And we immediately began to raise the necessary funds. Next one. Okay. Meanwhile, we hosted several forums while we fielded where we fielded suggestions from the community. It was determined at that point that it would be best if we could move the Veterans Memorial for better accessibility and to provide some more space to the square itself. We worked with property owners for the transfer of land. A very big thank you goes out to Spencer Suter and the county supervisors for agreeing to this land transfer, to the VFW and Bob Hopkins for approval of the move of the memorial. 2 qualified local contractors were awarded the project in early 2025. A very big thank you. We're going to be doing a lot of thanks, folks, so bear with me. There's many people to thank. A very big thank you to Robbie and Rob Faulkner of Robbie Faulkner and Son LLC, along with their crew, and also to Walter Garrett and Maddie Hoke of Garrett Landscapes. They have done an amazing job. Next. In the summer of that year, work began on moving the memorial 25 feet to the north. We waited until all the festivities and the 4th of July were over. Several additional improvements were made as suggested by the city during this time. An improved stormwater connection was agreed upon and costs were covered with project funding. Thank you to Andy Hofnagel of Virginia Infrastructure, or Hofnagel, sorry, and for the quick work getting the connection made. To properly connect the stormwater system from the site to Washington Street, the sidewalk had to be dug up. Okay. This gave us an opportunity to relay the bricks in the sidewalk, which was not level and in need of attention. Again, the cost of this work was covered by the project funding. In addition, several change orders were met and some utilities were moved. These improvements benefited Public Works and surrounding building owners. Thanks to Steve Polk and Trent Roberts for their assistance and approval of key phases of this project. The memorial move was completed in time for the historic Veterans Day celebration on November 11th. Historic in that the celebration marked the 25th anniversary of the memorial and the 100th anniversary of the cannon. After the celebration, work began in earnest within the square. New pervious pavers were laid along Lawyers Row and footers for the precast concrete began to be poured in the main area. By this time, all funding was secured from generous donors. The city agreed to provide a line of credit because some of the funding was pledged over several years, and we thank you. Several trees were planted, precast concrete sections were put into place, and work continued regardless of the weather. Go figure, with the coldest weather we've had in a while. Meanwhile, we've been working on signage. Concurrent with all of this work, Eric Wilson, thank you, and Arthur Bartenstein researched content for the 3 interpretive signs that will be placed within the plant beds. This content has been reviewed by other experts for accuracy, and we appreciate everyone's input. One explains the origins. I'm showing you these because this is the actual size of the signage. So they're not huge. Once they're in the site, they will very much blend in. So one explains the origin of Rockbridge County and Lexington. Another provides context for the significance of the jail as designed by Thomas U. Walter, architect of the U.S. Capitol Dome among a lot of other projects. So the jail is significant that we had such a renowned architect working here in Lexington. Lastly, a sign explaining the history of how our area has been involved in wars. This will be placed close to the Veterans Memorial. More details and photo credits will be available on the Visitor Center website. Thank you, tourism. They will have a dedicated page to the project. So because we wanted to keep these signs succinct, we didn't want to overwhelm with a lot of verbiage. There's also going to be a audio version of the signs being read for anyone who can't actually read them carefully or properly. As you see, the full scale renditions are being passed around. Evening, we presented to the Architectural Review Board for approval for the signs, the sign frames, a lighting schematic, and a donor plaque. It was necessary for us to present the lighting design because it had changed from the original approved design that was approved by the ARB. Initially, 4 lampposts were to be installed, but it was decided that they would overpower the view. Instead, small, low lights will be installed within the plant beds to safely illuminate the stairs and not impede the view. This change has saved the city money. The lampposts would have been property of Dominion Energy and would have cost the city $50 per month each. So good to get rid of that. A bronze plaque will be placed within the plant bed closest to Main Street, honoring the generosity of all donors. I don't have a photo because I forgot about it, but we've restored the fountain that was in Lawyers Row. So we'll have a little water feature and the fountain will go back where it lived previously, which we're excited about. Next slide. Oh, there we go. Working from the jail towards Main Street, the terraces are beginning to take shape. After a slight delay due to weather, work is moving along quickly and within budget. The contractors are aware that we have set a date for a dedication ceremony and are confident that 90% of the work will be completed by then. The last 10% is mostly the installation of plants within the beds, and that's all weather dependent. Because who knows what we can count on with weather. We are so appreciative of Robbie and Rob Faulkner, Walter Garrett and Maddie Hoke, and of Walter Bartenstein, Bugs Utley, and Kelly Morikawa. Let me say that again. For their conscious and professional work on this monumental project, we couldn't be more pleased and we appreciate them. So, a dedication ceremony has been planned. You will get more details. We invite everyone and each of you to join us. At that point, we will thank donors and honor stakeholders and donors along with the community. And then finally, we have to say a big thank you to the property owners, to the City of Lexington and Public Works for all their lovely coordination with us, to Rockbridge County and to Rockbridge, Virginia 250, especially Eric Wilson and Cheryl Wagner for helping us not only create these signs, but hosting a dedicated page on there on the tourism website. If we've forgotten to thank anyone, please bear with us. Several stakeholders in many ways, small and large, made this happen. To date, this is the largest project of Main Street Lexington, so we special thanks to our design committee and executive committee for the countless hours spent over the past 2 years. Lastly, we are grateful to the city for your support of this significant project. Within a month, we will have an adjusted schedule of payment to the line of credit. We are pleased to be able to pay this down more quickly than expected, likely beginning before the end of the current fiscal year. Any additional funds received will be passed over time directly to the city. Questions?
Wow.
I
Thank you.
It's a big project.
Yeah. Members of council have any questions? Mr. Smith?
Uh, First, I want to say how excited I am to see this project come to completion. That's really going to open up that space and really be the welcoming part of downtown that I think is really going to add to foot traffic, vehicle traffic, all the above. Looking forward to that addition. One question I had was the Lewis and Clark marker. Is that
Yes,
Put
that
in-
is going, it's saved. We're gonna clean it up and it is going back in place. We don't know exactly where, but most likely the corner of the plant bed that is closest to the Hess building, which is kind of close to where it was.
Yeah. Okay. Great. That
Yes.
sort of been watching out
Going
for
away.
that.
Not
Thank
going
you.
away.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate how you had council in the loop and the city manager in the loop and how we were given the opportunity to provide input. Thank you so much.
Which we very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really have to say this is a community effort. Many
Yes.
people have been involved in this. But I think I agree, Chuck, that it's going to be a more usable space. I think it's going to be great for events. I did get into all the details, but since there isn't a big crowd, we're putting in 250 electricity so that for bands, for music, for whatever you need, there's also charging stations, outlets mostly along the benches. So very usable, and all of the wrought iron furniture that lived there for a while will go back into place because it was very much used and very flexible. So Jeff and I agreed that we should take a look at those and see if they need to be repainted, but they will go back into the space.
I know that Jesse's not here, but obviously a thanks to Rebecca and Jeff, but please pass on to Jesse because I think Jesse did a lot of community outreach, as did you, Rebecca, as did you, Jeff. But like, I know that Jesse took the lead,
Oh, yeah.
and I think that
It was all on him.
it, trying to change a public space that a lot of people feel ownership of because we love that space can be difficult. And sometimes there's people that push back or ask questions. And I thought Jesse did an excellent job keeping that positive attitude and just trying to just convey the vision for the space as well as he could. And he did an excellent job. And so he's not here, but tell him thanks. I can't wait till April 30th.
I will pass that along, and I absolutely agree with you. He really did a lovely job.
We had
And
a
we-
few sticking points, things that probably could have blown the thing up. It just surprises that came up and misunderstandings, and he was able to finesse through all that. He's very talented, and that's why we wanted him. We asked for him to begin with, and it was the right choice. So, yeah. Thank you, Jesse.
If you're listening
He's
or
listening.
watching.
Absolutely. As well as his employer, Kappa Alpha, who is history with the building
Mhm.
and very supportive of Jesse's time and efforts.
You all know that the Kappa Alpha was in the jailhouse. That was their headquarters. And so Jesse was mostly in charge of the grounds. So this is a very special project for him before they
Absolutely.
moved.
Fantastic. Any other questions from council?
No, just deep appreciation,
Yes.
Rebecca. Thank you.
Thank
I know you did a lot too to make it happen.
Yep, still is.
I don't know if it's clerk of the works.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's unequivocally the most viewed job recently in recent time, with all the people coming by to inspect and Robbie graciously sharing with people what was going on. So
Actually, he was a fabulous ambassador.
yes,
Really did a good job.
indeed. So as you pointed out, a great community project with a lot of community input and effort. So thank you all very much for being with us this evening and all you do for our community, and join my colleagues in excitement for April 30th.
More details to come. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Jeff, did you want these? Absolutely. next item on the agenda is a minute in history. Mr. Wilson, welcome. Thank you for donning your Liberty Downing orange, not to be mistaken for Wahoo Proud.
Tomorrow at 1:20, it will be Wahoo Proud. Maybe
Okay.
not for long, but hopefully so. So I thought, following on this, I haven't been, recently, I came in at the kind of tail end of this, just on the interpretive side, and working with Arthur has been great on that. He deserves a lot of credit for creating a kind of narrative structure that we fleshed out. And I would echo, what Rebecca says about being able to use the tourism site to give a more fleshed out narrative there for people want. So we're going to figure out the technical side of that. But beyond the few images we get there, I think we can tell a much more complete, richer story of this community's history. And that's exciting. I really just want to talk about an event that's going to be an example of how that space can come to life. I've mentioned this a bit before, but looking ahead to July 4th, on the heels of the Children's Bike Parade, a big 250th moment there, to have the community reflect about what this space was like 50 years ago, or what people remember from that. And also to have people say what their hopes for this space may be ahead. I was at the Virginia Association of Museums conference last weekend, and there was a great thing, a big banner, I don't know what you call it, poster sort of thing that, what is your wish for America, the birthday wish, and to be able to have something in that space that's aspirational as well as commemorative and looking back, I think will be a nice thing there. This real quick, we'll talk about this more in April. I just want people to know that up at the library right now is our next exhibit about free Black Virginians, and a program on May 3rd that will focus, see in the middle of the poster on the right, on the Rockbridge histories of that. Over 1,000 free Black people in this area that are a relatively untold story about the ethnic formation and variation of this. We'll continue having our film series and book series as well, but this clustering, I think, will be good. But to look back to the bicentennial, which we presented on, I guess it would have been in May, for the event that came here. These images, again, looking back to people who literally rode through here in 76. You can see there's a picture there at then Stonewall Jackson Cemetery of some of the riders on the left. That's not those people on the right. But again, to have these two moments in time in our community, to be able to say, how did we see ourselves in this community and nation then and since? At Jordan's Point, which you see here, this was, I think, the Road River Relay Day, right before that. On June 3rd, a group of riders will be coming through here. Alan Turnbull is the kind of head of the peloton, if you were going to have a group, maybe 30, 40 riders who are going to be doing the full Virginia Trail. It's 555 miles, 50 of it through here. They'll stay at Col Alto that night. We'll give them a historical tour, and that evening down at Jordan's Point, we'll give a little bit of a history presentation, and we hope that some members of council or the mayor can be there to talk particularly about the bike lanes here that the city is invested in. Again, an important kind of downtown element, but really a through line through this county that signals the support of recreation, the natural environment that make this such an attractive area for people to ride through, if you can pedal up and down it. And as a final element, we see here, this came through a grant. Rockbridge Historical Society worked with what's called the Bike 76 VA project, Virginia Bicentennial Project. And so we have now, it's a kind of mobile poster exhibit that we can take to schools. We can kind of split it between the library and here. And you'll see in these, I'm not going to go through them all, but the red track is the bike track that goes from Yorktown, and eventually you get to where Lewis and Clark landed, but down at the breaks Park in the Southwest. And I just wanted to highlight, so these were done by Virginia Tech students and faculty. The ones that most relate here, I'll share these, so if you're interested in these themes, or you can come see it at our museum as of next week. So here, in terms of this 250 moment, looking at how this route and this moment of history allowed people to celebrate revolutionary moments. And here in Rockbridge, the story they chose had to do really with the Green Book, segregated travel, building on some of the histories that we and other organizations have done here over the years. So over the arc of these, what I think 12 panels, you really get a rich range of social histories, of different things, and ends with this image of what might biking be like today, and where does that go for a cycling community. There is a podcast of 30 episodes on all these. We'll have that looping at the library, but people will be able to do that. So and you can see here some of the local ones from Ty River Gap, Irish Creek, and the bridge that really open up our specific story. So we're proud to have been partnering with that and working ahead. They've also granted us a grant that will allow us to have students basically paint 2 benches that go along the route, and to give visual symbolic representation to some of the values that they see in their community, the natural environment, patriotic images, and that of health and mobility. We'll have more to say on that ahead, but it's an exciting way of bringing these together, bringing them outside. And I think it'll be the 41st year of the Children's Bike Parade on July 4th. That is dead center, that are 1 mile of that 4,000, I think it's 4,228 miles that runs right through here. And we'll keep that story moving. Thank you.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Members of council have any questions? Eric, thank you very, very much. If I heard you correctly, June 3rd at
June 3rd, and we don't have an exact set time, sort of a dinner
Okay.
down at the pavilion. I'll be in touch with them before too long, but would, encourage everybody would be welcome to do that. I think that'll be a nice bit of glow. They're certainly glad to have those lanes too.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. And thanks for all the events and opportunities that you present for us.
Just a quick question, Eric.
Yes.
Did you mention that these would be online also, Eric?
They are,
Okay, great.
if you go to, it's bike76va.vt, something like that. I can get you there, but the scroll at the top, you got the blog, the podcasts, and all those things. Tom Ewing is a dean at Virginia Tech, who's the man behind this.
Very nice. Great.
Very impressive.
Fond memories of the bicentennial. I'm looking forward to making fond memories of the 250.
Dr. Tudor revealed yesterday that, what did he say? There was a picture of him in breeches.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you, Eric. Thanks for keeping history alive. Next item on our agenda is public hearing for the proposed capital improvement plan, and would ask for the city manager to introduce this.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a non-required step in our process, but we issued the capital improvement program as a draft in early February. Council had 2 work sessions on it. It is now part and parcel of our draft operating budget, which you had your second work session on this evening. So this is an opportunity for the public to come in and weigh in on any of the proposed 19 or so million dollars of capital projects. I was going to turn it over to Jen Bell to walk through what's currently included in the draft CIP.
I feel like you guys have heard this a couple times, so I'll try not to belabor any points. In the general fund, some noteworthy projects. I'd like to point out this Lime Kiln Road over Woods Creek bridge replacement. That is a project that's being fully funded by VDOT, and it's not a reimbursement. It won't even go through our books, but we'll get the benefit of it. Another project that's similar is this Waddell sidewalk. And this is an 80-20 split on the grant. So we expect to put in roughly $200,000.
And for the record, just that's at Maury River Middle School. Right? I mean, when people hear Waddell, they might think it's at Waddell Elementary School, but that's on Waddell Street, which is going to benefit Maury River Middle School, that also happens to be in the city of Lexington, the county's middle school. But it's going to be an excellent project, but for all the crowd that's here.
We are proposing to do some engineering work on a plan to resurface McCrum's parking lot. Other smaller projects include improvements at the city pool. And we will have to continue to pay for swing space for a bit into FY27 until we can move back into City Hall. Last time when you saw this, I believe we had in a much larger number for the jail to spend $2 million on a study for the renovation. We have removed that. And instead, Derek has requested just 100,000 to continue working on developing plans for the jail in the future. And so our share is just under $20,000. We also previously had this energy wheels on air handlers. However, Derek was able to find the money in FY26 to complete that this year. Central dispatch, the large item here is the radio system refresh, and their board is still discussing the best way to move forward with that. In the parks, we are planning to spend a good amount at Jordan's Point, 450,000, and this should wrap up the projects that City Council identified that they wanted to move forward on based on the, I guess, planning.
Right.
That was, thank you. Hopkins Green pergola replacement for 175,000. And then we have our share of the high school projects totaling 1,161,000. And we do have funds set aside for this. We have approximately $1.2 million from school construction grant funding that we received from the state a couple of years ago. So we do plan to use that as much as possible for these projects. There were some stipulations about not using it for recreation, but even the portion that we're going to fund relating to the rec center at the high school, the part we're responsible for contributing to is for high school gym classes, et cetera. And if we are unable to use those funds for any portion of this, we also have funds set aside from the Lexington City Schools annual budget surpluses that have been reserved for future high school needs. That is all in the general fund. Unless anyone has a question, I can move quickly to the utility fund. Okay. Utility fund, the big items that we're looking at for FY27 will be continuing the Jackson Avenue area water and sewer system improvements and dealing with Moores Creek Dam. So currently we have budgeted both to repair the dam and to extend the water line to make it useful should the county wish for us to continue to move forward on that. And under our agreement, I guess it's from the court order, if we are to do that, the county would reimburse us for that portion of the 3.7 million. Moving along, in the sewer line improvements at Oak Grove. And we are proposing to move forward on that this year. It is important for the future of that area and expanded capacity. Lastly, continuing on our I&I reduction, the lining of the sewer lines, we're recommending $750,000. We're also recommending potentially a borrowing to at least fund the Jackson area project. We are working with our financial advisors to determine the best way to accomplish everything we need to get done. Stormwater. Stormwater is much smaller. It is a new fund. We don't have a lot of money to spend there. So we are going to propose to do regular improvements as needed and do the design work for the Jefferson subterranean channel, which runs from Hopkins Green to Massey. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry. Okay. For anybody following along at home, I'll correct my screen. Stormwater. Thank you, Kate. All right. And so here you'll note the loan I mentioned earlier today.
Right.
From the utility fund that we'll repay in FY28. And that concludes my presentation.
Fantastic. Members of council have any questions for the finance director? We've seen this time or two before. At this time, I'd like to open the public hearing and see if there's no one has signed up. But is there anyone here who would like to speak to the issue of the capital investment plan? Jeff Hughes, come on down.
So I heard on the McCrum's parking lot refurbish, the design committee for Main Street Lexington has been working on McCrum's Alley, and we've done the improvement with the planters. We're going to be hanging cafe lights there. They've been approved by the ARB. They did not approve our recommendation to resurface the floor of the alley. We wanted to do a mosaic pattern. They did not like that. Their recommendation was to use the Lexington bricks that were salvaged from the courthouse square project and see if the city would consider installing them in the alley, which we agreed is a great idea, but we don't have the budget for that. But I just heard that we're going to be working on the parking lot. It would be nice if that a little bit of that money could be extended to really finish off that alley. I think it'll be spectacular. And they were excited to hear that the pergola is going to be remedied. We were just there this week with a service project with the middle school kids, and it's falling down. So it's right about the right time. So thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to this topic? Hearing and seeing no one wishing to speak to this topic, I will close the public hearing at 7:42 and ask for any council discussion. I'll just say, Jeff, thanks for the observation and the work. City staff's been working diligently on the McCrum's parking lot and other beautification things hand in hand with Main Street Lexington. And we're very grateful for that collaboration and leadership from both organizations. So,
and to that end, though, the $200,000 that we may invest in planning is a down payment, if you will, on a more multi-million-dollar overhaul and improvement. That just, again, for everyone that's here, that could be exciting and transformative for a parking lot. But parking lots are important, and that one has a lot of use. So it is in anticipation of what could be a couple $1 million in the future. So
exactly. Very good. I'm going to step off the dais. Thank you all for your time and talents, and leave you in Vice Mayor Alexander's capable hands. Thank you.
All right, we'll continue at consideration of minutes, and those are minutes of February 19th, the work session, and the regular meeting on March 5th. Those minutes were in your packets, and unless there are any objections, are there any? Okay, we can move forward. Being none, the minutes of both of those meetings are approved. We shall move on to the citizens' remarks and comments. I don't believe any citizens signed up, but there is an opportunity now. If there are any citizens here out in the audience who wish to speak, this is your time. Okay. All right. If none, we'll close that portion of the meeting and move on to the consent agenda. And there are two items on there for street closures and waiver of the peddler's license. And we shall go ahead and what's your pleasure on that?
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Your second?
Second.
And consent agenda does not require a discussion, so we can move on to a roll call vote. Ms. Strawn?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Sigler?
Aye.
Mr. Driscoll?
Aye.
Mr. Betts?
Aye.
And I vote aye. And those are approved unanimously. Thank you. Any unfinished business that we need to be aware of? Okay. Reports and communications. First on the list is the Airport Feasibility Committee. Mr. Driscoll?
No meeting.
No meeting. Okay. Blue Ridge Resource Authority. Mr. Smith?
Nothing to report.
This is moving fast. Main Street Lexington.
Doing a great job. Main Street Lexington, and Jeff mentioned this, had a successful spring service day yesterday with dozens of National Junior Honor Society members from Lilburn and Maury River middle schools. They worked in teams to clean up and spruce up both downtown Lexington and Boxerwood. A reminder that the chief event is slated for next Thursday, the 26th at 5 p.m. at the Lilburn cafeteria. Local Main Street Fund Development Training, which Jeremy mentioned at the presentation at our previous meeting, is underway. They're working with the Spark Mill out of Richmond, and this service is being provided by Virginia Main Street. This will help Main Street to continue to build off the progress that they've already made with current fundraising efforts. Main Street will be hosting a Regional Virginia Main Street Rev Up Conference in the Gin Hotel Ballroom on Tuesday, May 12th. More details to come, and they'll be extending invitations to council. That's all I have. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Smith? Thank you, sir. Planning Commission.
Sure. Planning Commission met last Thursday and they reviewed a application, a certificate of appropriateness for construction of Founders Hall by Washington and Lee at 204 West Washington Street. It was unanimously approved except for the landscaping. Planning Commission asked for additional landscape drawings and the replacement of one bollard with a night sky compliant model. And Washington and Lee agreed to both those items. They're going to go ahead and replace the bollard with a different model that's night sky compliant, and they'll bring landscape drawings, additional drawings at the our next meeting, so next Thursday. So they can get started with some parts of it, but they'll still work through the landscaping piece of it. Then we did continue our review, 5-year review of the comprehensive plan, and focusing on the land use chapter. There were just a couple of areas that we had a deeper discussion on. And then we approved a zoning ordinance amendment on the townhouse amendments that council had asked Planning Commission to review, and they reviewed that one phrase as far as the townhomes do not have to front on a street, a public street, sorry. And that's all I have.
Any questions for Ms. Strong? I have one. Do you have any idea when you're going to need the comments from Threshold regarding the housing chapter?
I would say we'll probably review that. I think next we'll do the transportation section.
Okay.
And then probably at the next meeting, we'll go back to housing. When are you meeting next?
Next week.
Oh, that should be good. If we could get them after that meeting,
Okay.
that should work out. And I will just say on that certificate of appropriateness, those don't come to council. That's just a planning commission item. But the zoning ordinance amendment on the townhouse, that will come to planning commission, to council.
Any other questions? Okay, if we could move on, Mayor Friedman's not here for a report from, Rana, so if we could find out if Mr. Betts has a report from the
do.
tourism board.
Tourism, tourism is working on setting up a presentation to discuss the regional tourism strategic plan. This presentation will occur on a to be determined day in April 2026. On March 3rd or March 17th, 2026, tourism staff met with the general managers of local hotels. There will be another meeting with tourism and local hotel general managers on June 16th, 2026. One purpose of these meetings is tourism is trying to help local hotels bring meetings and conferences to the region. Regional occupancy rates increased 15% in the region when compared with this time last year. Tourism is also working on updating the tourism sponsorship program applications and scoring criteria. An update to the process has become necessary as decisions get tougher with more applicants seeking funding from the regional tourism sponsorship program for events in Lexington, Rockbridge, and Buena Vista. And then Rockbridge Outdoor Fest will occur on June 13th, 2026 at Glen Morey Park from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Any questions for Mr. Betts?
Did you say occupancy is up 15%?
Yeah, for the
year to date?
region, for the region. For Lexington, Rockbridge, and Buena Vista.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, if we could move on to Raro.
No report.
Thank you. And no report for Threshold as well. The mayor did not leave a report, so we can move on to the city manager's report.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Just one reminder, Kate Beard emailed you out earlier that the Chamber's Community Breakfast is next Tuesday. If you want to register for that event, Mayor Friedman will be addressing along with other colleagues from the region. So let us know if we can help register you for that event. That's all I have at this time.
Thank you, sir. City Attorney report?
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. Just a couple minor items. Nick, you'll be of interest to know that I have received a call and had a subsequent follow-up Zoom introductory meeting with a new representative of Brightspeed for real estate issues.
Okay,
So we are now slowly advancing the ball on that lease.
that's good.
So I don't know that it's going to move quickly, but
Sure.
it's kind of starting over a little bit too. So I
That's
need to meet
fine.
with,
We're still doing month to month until
yeah,
that's fine.
exactly.
Yeah.
But there is some progress and a commitment from him to remain engaged, not only with Lexington, but all the generally in the area, in the vicinity properties that they have. And other than that, the other things I've been working on have been related to Moores Creek and then some issues with regard to the courthouse square. So happy to answer any questions you may have, but I did want to, I know you'd be
Yeah,
happy to
thank
hear
you for
that, Nick.
thank you for telling me that.
Any questions? For Mr. Carroll? No?
Nope.
Okay, new business, we have two items, 15.1, 15.2. The first one, the Jail Capital Committee appointments. I believe, Mr. Carroll, you have floor.
Thank you. As Ms. Bell mentioned earlier this evening, we're trying a different approach than with the jail. Rather than budget $2 million for design, we're going to have each of the funding entities, which is Buena Vista, Rockbridge, and Lexington, send two delegates to be on a capital planning committee. So when I spoke to Mayor Friedman about this, he suggested Mr. Sigler would be a good person to be on that with his financial expertise, and Mr. Betts, if he's willing, because of his legal practice and those perspectives. But this may be the first you're hearing of it since we just spoke about it. So I would recommend that we move forward quickly. But having said that, you know, it's up to you what you want to do. We can wait another meeting to appoint.
What's your pleasure?
I move to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Sigler and Betts to the Jail Capital Committee.
I'll second that, motion.
We have a motion in 2 seconds from one person. Any further discussion?
I had the same idea. I think they're excellent choices.
Absolutely, absolutely. Being no other discussion, let's have a roll call vote. Ms. Strawn.
Aye.
Mr. Smith.
Aye.
Mr. Sigler.
Aye.
Mr. Driscoll.
Aye.
Mr. Betts. And I vote aye. The motion carries unanimously. So it is a done deal. Next. City Manager Carroll.
Thank you. Last evening, the Economic Development Authority met in their regularly scheduled meeting, and they voted to approve the draft amendment, first amendment to the MOU between the city and the EDA. This particular amendment is being brought forward for the Bank of the James, which is the first applicant for the fire suppression system. As a financial institution, they're uncomfortable with the idea of having a lien against their property, so they're going to securitize their loan from the EDA with a different mechanism, which was not originally contemplated. This amendment gives flexibility for the city manager to allow an alternative other than a lien against the property. I recommend we approve it. Happy to answer any questions, as I'm sure Mr. Carroll is as well.
So they are still getting the loan piece of the
Yes.
sprinkler system. Okay, I wasn't quite clear if they were just
Sure.
trying to get the
But I think the flexibility goes to the point where you could pay cash and
and that's what I was getting at. So they really just getting, they may just get the benefit of the tie-ins getting
connection
that
fee.
waived. The connection fee is getting waived. Okay, which is totally fine too, I think.
it serves the purpose of
Right,
adding
right.
sprinkler systems
Yep.
to downtown. So.
Okay, so they have that option.
Is that why it says no applicant will be required to obtain a loan because of the, okay.
And if somebody has sufficient assets, such as the bank, they could offer up some other form of credit, like Tom says, or no credit at all, depending on what the payback mechanism is and who the their credit worthiness, if you will.
And remind me what, so the benefits would be the tie-in fees are waived. Is there another benefit too, or?
If they pay cash or securitize it or pay back in advance, that's the primary benefit.
Okay.
I mean, it's a 0% loan. This is set up to contemplate a 0% loan for 10 years
Right.
as an incentive for somebody to figure out how to monetize the installation of sprinklers on the second and third floor. They're doing it anyway. They've already done it. In fact, we've made this commitment to try and figure this out with them. So if somebody does just pay the loan back, yes, they're effectively getting the tap cost, which is our time and materials that we charge. They're getting that essentially provided, but that is held out for somebody. We don't forgive that until the loan is paid back on time for somebody who might be taking a 5 or 10 year term. So that is an incentive for them to make timely payments on their loans.
And just for anybody else who's interested in doing that, at this point, we're limited to that $250,000 pot.
We are.
So they should get their sprinklers in now while we have money and can reimburse them or waive the tap fee.
That's right. And also I should mention at the EDA last night, they approved a second application. So of the 250, we've committed about 150,000 of it. So there's only one sprinkler left if you're trying to go fast, or going fast. So that's for the Dole building. The second one is for the Dole.
Okay.
building.
But it works out well for the city of Lexington if the Bank of the James does pay back the loan quick. That just replenishes our funds. And so that's a win for us. So that's a good thing. So great.
And the overall objective is it's coming to fruition, so benefits the whole community. All right, what's your pleasure for the MOU?
I will make a motion to approve the First Amendment to the Fire Suppression Systems Incentive Loan Program Memorandum of Understanding.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this? No further discussion. Let's do a roll call vote from Ms. Strawn.
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Sigler.
Aye.
Mr. Driscoll.
Aye.
Mr. Betts.
Aye.
And I vote aye. The motion carries unanimously to proceed with this amended MOU. Thank you so much. And there's no schedule for a closed meeting. We can forward with a adjournment. We're all in agreement.
I
You don't need a motion.
Meeting